Perfect. Okay. So let's begin with the session, guys. Let's begin with the session. Right. So what are we going to discuss in today's session? Okay. So we are going to talk about a very important topic. Okay. Before that, what have we discussed in the previous session? We spoke about something called as constructors, right? The last session we spoke about constructors, and what are constructors here? Constructors are a set of instructions used for initialization and instantiation, correct? And we also know that constructor name and class name should be same, and constructor will not have any return type, and it gets executed during object creation. Okay, and we also saw two types of constructor: default constructor, custom constructor. Default constructor will be generated by the compiler, and the custom constructor will be defined by the user here. Okay, and we saw parameterized, non-parameterized, okay, all those. With that, we also saw something called as local variable and member variable as well. What are local variables? What are member variables? And we also saw something called as this keyword. Okay, so these are the few things which we have seen in the previous session, and I want to give one example at the last. Okay, there's one more example with small example which I want to give it at the last. Okay, so we are done with constructors topic here. Okay, so now we are going to talk about a beautiful topic here. Okay, what is that, sir? We are getting into something called as inheritance. Okay, we are going to talk about what? We are going to talk about something called as inheritance in today's session. Okay, it's ultimately a very important and a simple topic. If you are able to understand inheritance, probably the next 15-20 days here, I would be done with oops. Okay, and it would be very easy for you all. Okay, so today's topic is a prerequisite for all the forthcoming topics. Okay, so make sure try to understand in a beautiful manner. Okay, so great. What is inheritance, guys? What is inheritance basically? Whenever I talk about inheritance here, it means acquiring or accepting something. Correct? In real time, we are examples of inheritance here, right? How? Sir, I am inheriting certain properties from my parents. Correct. So inheritance means acquiring or accepting something. So we can relate it with respect to real time as well. Okay, we can relate it with respect to the real time objects as well. Okay, so now what is inheritance in Java? Inheritance in Java is nothing but there are two classes. Imagine there are two classes. Okay, class A, class B. Okay, inheritance is nothing but one class is acquiring the properties of another class. Meaning, see here, I am acquiring certain properties from my parents, correct? So this is related to with respect to Java with terms of classes here. Okay, in Java there are two classes. Okay, one class is acquiring the properties of another class. So that is called as inheritance. Okay. And there are two types of classes involved. What are those two types of classes involved? One class which is giving the properties is called as superclass, and one more class which is accepting the properties is called as subclass. Meaning B is inheriting or acquiring the properties from A. So B is the subclass and A is the superclass. Okay, got it. And then in order to achieve inheritance, okay, we make use of a keyword called as extends. Okay, extends is the keyword which is used to achieve inheritance here. Okay, and then whenever I want to refer inheritance, we also refer it as is a relationship. Okay, in an interview they will confuse you. Okay, they'll tell explain is a relationship. Is a relationship means inheritance. Inheritance means is a relationship. Okay, don't get confused here. Okay, both means the same. Okay, and the last point with respect to inheritance here is okay. Whenever I talk about inheritance, it's not that all the properties are inherited. Only certain attributes are inherited. Meaning variables and methods. Okay, variables and methods are inherited, whereas there is a concept called as blocks and constructors. No, okay, blocks and constructors. No, blocks and constructors are not inherited. Got the clarity here? In Java here, only variables and methods can be inherited from one class into another class. But blocks and constructors can never ever be inherited, no matter what. Clear? So these are the few things which we are supposed to understand when it comes to inheritance topic here. Okay, it's a very, very simple part which you need to understand here. Got the clarity here? Okay, so this is all about the entire process here. Clear? Now here, whenever we talk about types, we have many types of inheritance here. Okay, we have what? Many types of inheritance. So what are those types here? Okay, let us try to understand in a beautiful manner here. Okay, what are the different types of inheritance? Okay, so the first type of inheritance is something called as single level inheritance. What is it? Single level inheritance. What is single level inheritance? Okay, I will tell you in a beautiful manner. Just a moment. Yeah, great. Okay, single level inheritance means, okay, I'll tell you here. Okay, okay, great. Perfect. Okay, so first of all, guys, imagine this is class A and this is class B. Okay, and there is a relationship between them here. Okay, so A, see here, how do you read it? Class B extends. Okay, class B extends class A. It means class B is acquiring the properties from class A, meaning there are two types of classes involved. One who is acquiring the properties, another class who is sharing the properties. Okay, so a class which is sharing the, giving the properties is generally referred as superclass or parent class, or we call it as base class. Got the clarity here? A class which is sharing the properties, giving the properties here is referred as superclass or parent class or base class. And a class which is acquiring the properties, right? We call them as subclass or child class, or we also call them as derived class. Okay, so one thing only, but we have different names to refer it here. Okay, so what is single level inheritance? Single level inheritance is nothing but a combination of one superclass and one subclass. Okay, single level meaning one superclass, one subclass is called as single level inheritance. Okay, and then sir, what is the next part, sir? Next part is multi-level inheritance. Okay, what is it? The name itself tells multi-level inheritance. What is multi-level inheritance? We need to understand. Okay, the name itself tells there are multiple levels here. Okay, so now here let me draw this representation so that it becomes a beautiful way of understanding. Okay, so this is one way, this is another way. So this is class A, class B, class C. Okay, so this is multi-level inheritance. So what is multi-level inheritance, sir? Multi-level inheritance is a combination of multiple superclasses and multiple subclasses in a sequential manner. Meaning C is inheriting from B, B is inheriting from A. Meaning son is inheriting from his father and his father is inheriting from his father, meaning grandfather, father and son. Got it? Are you able to understand the hierarchy here? Okay, grandfather, father, son. Okay, so that way multi-level meaning it's a combination of multiple superclasses and subclasses in a sequential manner here. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to multi-level inheritance here. If you could closely observe, okay, class B is behaving as both superclass and subclass. See, class B is a subclass of class A. True or false? True. I repeat, class B is a subclass of class A. True, right? Similarly, class B is the superclass of class C. Correct, no? So B will behave as subclass to A and superclass to C here. Multi-level meaning it's just a combination of multiple superclasses and subclasses in a sequential order. Got it? Then similarly, we have, two more. Okay, we have a few more here. Okay, what are those? I will tell you here. Okay, before that, this is the third part and this is the fourth part. Okay, so now I'll draw the representation first and then I'll ask what type of inheritance it is. Okay, so this is one. Okay, these are the two representation which I have here. Okay, out of which one is hierarchical and other one is multiple inheritance. Okay, I'll tell you here. Okay, so this is nothing but one here and this is nothing but one here. Okay, if you could closely observe, see here, one class having multiple superclasses. Okay, one superclass having multiple subclasses. Okay, what type of inheritance is this? You need to understand. And one subclass is having multiple superclasses. And you need to again understand what type of inheritance is this. Okay, in simple terms, guys, okay, it's a very, very simple part. One superclass having multiple subclasses is called as hierarchical inheritance. What type of inheritance is this? This is called as hierarchical inheritance here. Whereas one subclass having multiple superclasses, we refer them as multiple inheritance. What do we refer them as? We refer them as multiple inheritance. Got it? So this is what we are supposed to understand with respect to Java here. In Java, only three types of inheritance are supported explicitly. Single level inheritance is supported, multi-level inheritance is supported, as well as hierarchical inheritance is also supported. But multiple inheritance is not supported. And what is the reason it does not support? We will understand later. Got the clarity here? Okay. Multiple inheritance is not supported in Java. And what is the reason? We will talk about it later. And similarly, we have one more last part. Okay. That is nothing but the hybrid inheritance. What is the last part here? The last part is hybrid inheritance. What is hybrid inheritance? Okay. It's a combination of, okay, two or more types of inheritance. Okay. It's a combination of what? Two or more types of inheritance here. Okay, so this is hybrid. If you could closely observe, imagine this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Okay, look at the first half here. First half is a combination of hierarchical. How? One superclass having multiple subclasses. Similarly, the second half, one subclass having multiple superclasses. This is multiple. Hybrid inheritance means it's a combination of two or more types of inheritance here. So this is also not possible here. Why? So in this hierarchy, multiple inheritance is used, but multiple inheritance is not supported in Java here. Okay, why? We will understand later. But multiple inheritance is not supported. Hybrid inheritance, if it makes use of multiple inheritance, then it is not possible. But hybrid inheritance is not supported completely, but up to some extent. Okay, for example, look at this hierarchy here. This might be easily possible. See, I'll have this hierarchy. Okay, so this will be easily possible. If you could closely observe, this is A, B, C, D. What type of inheritance is this? Again, this is hybrid inheritance. Why? See, if you could closely observe, A and B are in single level. Okay, A and B are in single level. A, B, C are in hierarchical. Okay. A, C, D are in multi-level inheritance. So this hybrid inheritance is supported, but this hybrid inheritance is not supported. Why? In this specific hybrid inheritance, it is making use of hierarchical and multiple. Since multiple is not supported, this way is not possible. Got it. But this hybrid inheritance is possible. Why? Because it's making use of single level or multi-level or hierarchical. But in simple terms here, Java will support only three types of inheritance explicitly. That is single level, multi-level and hierarchical. Whereas multiple inheritance is not supported and hybrid also up to some extent only, not completely. Okay, so these are the few things which we are supposed to understand when it comes to the Java here. Got it? So these are the different points I have written, guys. Okay, we are supposed to understand what is inheritance, and I have told you in a beautiful manner. Got it? So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to Java, guys. Okay, it's a very simple topic. Okay, but very important topic. So this is what we are. I have written it over here. Okay, if you could closely observe, look at the first point what I have told here. The first point here is inheritance is a process of one class acquiring the properties of another class. Correct? No, one class is acquiring the properties of another class. That is called as inheritance. There are two types of classes involved. One who gives the properties, another one who accepts the properties. A class which will share the property is called as superclass or parent class or base class, and a class which will acquire the property, we call them as subclass or derived class or child class here. Okay, and in order to achieve inheritance here, which keyword do we make use of? Okay, we make use of which keyword here? Extends keyword. Okay, extends keyword, okay, is used to achieve inheritance here. Okay, and inheritance can also be referred as what? Is a relationship. Okay, inheritance means is a relationship. And in Java, is all the properties inherited here? No. Okay, no. What is it? Okay, in Java here only variables and methods are inherited, whereas blocks and constructors are not inherited. And what are the different types of inheritance here? Single level, multi-level, hierarchical. Only these three types of inheritances are supported explicitly in Java. Multiple is not supported, and hybrid up to some extent, not completely. Okay, so these are the few things which we are supposed to understand with respect to Java. So we are done with the theoretical part. Now we need to talk about programming. Okay, how do we do it practically? Okay, but before that, anyone having any questions, guys, before going ahead? Before going ahead, anyone has any questions? Okay, great, perfect. Okay, so now we will see practically, guys. Okay, so we are supposed to talk about it in a practical manner here. Okay, so we will do it beautifully. Okay, so I'll make sure that you will all understand in a beautiful manner here. Okay, right. So now here, what am I going to do now? Okay, what am I going to do here? Okay, so first of all, guys, okay, make sure I'll have a class. See here, concentrate for one example. I have a class and the class name is father. Okay, what is the class name? Father. Open curly braces and close curly braces. What did you understand, sir? Class is a blueprint or a platform to store the states and behaviors of an object. And the class name which I have considered is father, right? So father is having one property, that is int, okay, age equals to, the father's age is 40. Okay, and what is the father's age? 40. So there is a class called as father and he has a variable called as age initialized to 40. That's it. Okay, now I'll have one more class. Okay, I'll have one more class called as son. Class son. Okay, open curly braces and close curly braces. Now here, father and son does not have any relationship between them. Okay, as of now, there is no relationship between them. But I want to achieve is a relationship between them. How will I achieve here? With the help of extends keyword. So class son extends. What am I supposed to do? The class name father. So I have to just write it as father. So what did you understand over here? Son extends father. It means son is inheriting the properties of father class. So this age is inherited into son. Why? That is called as inheritance. No, one class is acquiring the properties of another class. Son is taking or acquiring the properties from father. Okay. And son also has one property, that is string. I will initialize it to Tom. Okay, string name initialized to Tom here. That's it. Okay. Now here, after this entire process here, okay, I'll have my class wherein the execution will always start from. Okay. I'll have a class. Okay, test class or main class or whatever it is. I'll have my main method wherein the execution will always begin from. Okay, I created one more class wherein the execution will begin from. Okay, now here I will create an object of sun class, subclass. Sun is equals to new son of. I have created an object of sun class, that is the subclass here. Therefore, when I tell new, okay, what is happening here? An object is getting created. And what is the object address? 111. And who is pointing to that object? S. S is pointing to that respective object. So I have created an object of sun. I need to store the sun properties. But since sun is having a superclass called as father, always the superclass properties will get loaded. So the age will get initialized to the value called as 40 here. After I'm done initializing the father properties, I have to then store the subclass properties, that is the name here. So the name will get initialized to Tom here. So what did you understand? You might have created an object of sun wherein I have to store the sun class properties. But since extends father meaning, I am inheriting the properties of father as well. So first I need to store the father class properties in the memory and then the subclass properties. Okay. Therefore, once I'm done with inheritance, it's done here. Now when I want to print it, I will just tell SOP, I will just tell s dot age, s dot name. I can also access the superclass property age plus I can also access the subclass property name here. So when I create an object of sun, I can access the explicit property name and one property is inherited from father, that is age. So I can access both the properties when I create an object of sun here. Why? Because he is the subclass and he has inherited the properties of father class. Got it? So this is called as single level inheritance. Why? Sir, single level inheritance meaning one superclass, one subclass. A combination of one superclass and subclass is called as single level inheritance. Clear? So this same example, I have to do it practically. Okay. So now here, I will create a beautiful project. Okay. And what will be the project name? New. I will create a new Java project and the Java project name will be inheritance. Okay. I'll just create a project called as inheritance. Okay. Now, so we created a project called as inheritance and then we created a package called as single level. Okay, I'll create a package called a single level. Under that package, I will create a class. Okay, and the class name is father. Okay, what is the class name? Father. That's it. So I have successfully created a class called as father here. Got it here. Okay, if you could closely observe here, I have created a class called as father. Done. So now here package single level means there is a folder called as single level and public meaning everyone can access it, class meaning blueprint and class name is father. So here father has a property called as age initialized to 40. That's it. Okay. I have a class called as father, and that father class is having a variable called as age initialized to 40. Now I'll have one more class, control N. I'll create one more class called as son class. Okay, so I want to achieve is a relationship between them. Okay, so there are two classes here. Okay, father class and son class. I want to achieve is a relationship between them. So how will I achieve is a relationship? Is a relationship meaning inheritance. So how will I achieve? With the help of extends keyword. With the help of which keyword? Extends keyword. I tell extends what? I have to tell extends, the class name is father. So when I tell extends father, the properties of father class is inherited into son. Plus son is also having an explicit property called as name, which is initialized to Tom here. Got it? So now here we got this respective data here. Now what I'll try to do here is I'll have one more class, control N. I'll create a class called as test class. Okay. Inside the test class, okay, what I'll try to do here is see here, I'll have my main method wherein the execution will always begin from. Okay. So I'll create an object of sun. See, sun s equals to new sun of. I created an object of whom? I created an object of sun here. So now once I'm done creating an object of sun, when sun will store the sun properties as well as the father properties. So I can access both. Okay, the age also. See, s dot age. I can access the superclass property also, and I can also access the subclass property also, that is name here. So now when I execute it, I will access both, okay, the superclass property and subclass property, that is sun s dot age is 40 and s dot name is Tom here. So that way I can access the content here. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have to place my cursor where the main method is there and then execute it. If not, it will execute the old data. Okay, the lastly executed output. See, did I get the output as 40 and Tom? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so now if I just remove this inheritance, if I just remove inheritance, there's no relationship here. This age will give an error. See, age is giving an error. If I just hover on it here, if I just hover on the error, age cannot be resolved or is not a field. It means that age variable is not at all belonging to sun class here. Sun has only one variable called as name, but age is not at all inherited nor defined here. So I have to achieve is a relationship. When I achieve is a relationship, it becomes easy, so that I can access the variable from the superclass as well. Okay, so what is inheritance here? Inheritance is nothing but one class is acquiring the properties of another class. Superclass, base class, parent class, meaning who is giving the data, and subclass, derived class or child class is acquiring the data. Extends we use in order to achieve inheritance, and it is also referred as is a relationship. Okay, and only variables and methods are inherited, whereas blocks and constructors are never ever inherited in Java. And we saw different types of inheritance, and this example is for single level inheritance, a combination of one superclass and one subclass. So this is all about single level inheritance. Similarly, we can have one more thing for multi-level as well. Okay, so I'll create one example for multi-level. So I'll click on restore. I'll create a package. Okay, control N. I will create a package and the package name is multi-level here. Okay, now under multi-level, I'll create a class. Okay, I'll create a class and the class name is university. Okay, I have created a class, guys, and that class name is university class. You can have any example for it. Okay, so I'm just writing it as university. Okay, and after that, okay, in university class, I will have a variable name. Okay, university name. Okay, university name. Okay, what is the university name here? Okay, if you're from Karnataka here, okay, you'll get to know this university. It's VTU. Okay, so majority of you are from VTU, I belong here. I mean, even I was from VTU. Okay, so majority of you are from VTU itself, I believe. Okay, so yeah. Okay, So it's a very, very famous institute, okay, famous university actually, okay, great. And what is the job of, universities here? I'll just write here, what can I tell here? Conduct exams, okay, conduct exams, open parenthesis close and open curly braces close here. So conduct exams is the method name, open parenthesis close, open curly braces close here. Since the method is not returning anything, I will write the return type as void here. Okay, I'll just write the return type as void. And here I'll just write it as BTU is, okay, conducting exams here, conducting exams. That's it. So what did you understand here? Sir, we had a simple class called as university. It had two properties here. One variable called as university name and one method called as conduct exams here. Okay, that's it. Now here I will create one class and the class name is called as college here. Okay, so I want to achieve is a relationship between them. Okay, I want to achieve what? Is a relationship between them. How will I achieve is a relationship between them? College extends university. Oh, I'm so sorry. Extends university. Okay, so what happened here? We have successfully achieved is a relationship. Okay, extends university. Done. And college name. College will also have one property called as college name. Okay, you can give any college name. Okay, imagine I give the college name as J Spiders only. Okay, I give the college name as J Spiders. Great. And it also had a method. Okay, what will have? Okay, uh, what will be the method name? College. Okay, college will have fest. Okay, provide placements. Okay, I'll just write it as provide placements. College will provide placements. Okay, so I'll just write it as a method called as provide placements, open parenthesis close, open curly braces close. Sys out, I'll just write it as J Spiders, okay, provides placement opportunities. Placement, yeah, provides placement, yeah, that's sufficient. And yeah, the return type is void because there is no returning over here. Okay, so this is all about it. As of now, see, university is a class and college is a class. College is inheriting the properties of university, so all the properties of university is inherited into college. Okay, and now here what I'll do, I'll create one more class. That class name is department. So you will able to understand the hierarchy here. Okay, university will have college and college will have department. Okay, so I want to achieve easy relationship. Department extends college. I have achieved easy relationship, right? And then string the department name. Okay, I need to give the department name. Okay, department name is, imagine it is computer science. Okay, I'll just write it as CS here. Okay, let me write it. Yes. Okay, computer science here. Okay, and then it also has a method. Okay, what is it? Fest method. Okay, every department will have their own fest. Okay, actually I had in my college. I'm not sure about your college. Okay, fest method. Okay, uh, okay. So the fest name is computer science department. Okay, had a department fest. CSC department had a fest called as, okay, I'll just write it as equinox. Okay, some random data I'm just giving it. Okay, now, so here, okay, and the return type is void. That's it. Okay, so what am I trying to do here is I'm just trying to explain what is multi-level inheritance. Okay, that's it. Okay, so this is all about the entire data here. Okay, so there is a class called as university, and college is inheriting from university, and department is inheriting from college here. So what type of hierarchy is this? This hierarchy is nothing but, okay, multi-level inheritance. So let us try to represent it in a pictorial manner here. Okay, so wait for the moment here. Okay, I'll explain one quick UML part here. Okay, so here let me draw this hierarchy here, guys. Okay, what is this hierarchy here? I'll tell you in some time here. Okay, So first of all, I'll have a beautiful part here. Okay, then yeah, sufficient. Then I'll have one more part. Okay, and then this also it's big. Yeah, finally I'll have one more part here. That's sufficient. Okay, so what am I supposed to do here is we have something called as UML notation here. Okay, so what is UML notation is nothing but unified modeling language. Okay, meaning the pictorial representation of a Java program. That's it. Okay, if you are aware of software engineering, you'll all encounter this. Okay, but I'm just doing it for my interest. Okay, don't worry. Okay, so that I just want you to understand the flow here. That's it. Okay, so now here guys, we had three classes now. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to explain. There were three classes here. What were the three classes over here? Okay, we just need to understand. So the first class name was university, correct? What was the second class name? The second class name was college, and the third class name was department. And what type of relationship they had? They had is a relationship. That is nothing but extends. That is nothing but extends. We had what type of inheritance? They had is a relationship. That is extends here. Got the clarity here? University, college, department. They had is a relationship between them. So now university had certain properties. What are those properties here? It had a variable called as university name. Correct? It had a variable called as university name. And what was the data type here? The data type was string here. Okay? And it also had a method. Okay? What was the method name here? Okay, so let me write the method name also. Conduct exams. The method name was conduct exams. Okay, and the return type of that method was void here. Return type of that method was void. Similarly, college inherits from university, and it also had some variable called as college name, and the data type was string. Okay, and it also had a method. No, what was the method name? Provide placements. Provide placements here. That was the method name here, and the return type of that particular method was void here. Okay, and we also had something called as department. Department had a variable called as department name. Correct. So department name, okay, was the variable, and the return data type was string, and the method name was fetch method. Okay, fetch method, and it was the return type was void. Guys, this is just a representation of UML. UML means Unified Modeling Language. In simple terms, I'm just creating a pictorial representation of a class. Okay, so what did you understand here? Uday, we had a university class, we had a college class, and we had department class. And there was easy relationship. Department is inheriting from college, college is inheriting from university. What type of inheritance is this? This is multi-level inheritance. Okay, not multiple. It is multi-level inheritance. Got the clarity? Now here, I have one big question. Common sense question. Okay. Okay, what is this, sir? Okay, I will tell it to you. Now, if I create an object of university, okay, apply common sense. Sir, if I create an object of university, how many properties can I access? I can access only two properties. Why? Sir, university has university name and conduct exams. So it's common sense if I create an object of university, I will be able to access only two. Now tell me, if I create an object of college, how many properties will I be able to access? Okay, I want answers from your side. Okay, how many properties will I be able to access? Okay, is it 2, 4, 6, 0? Quickly tell me, answer. I'm expecting certain answers, guys. Okay, so you can just drop me a message quickly, we can answer. Okay, okay, great. So I got a mixed set of answers here. Okay, I'll tell you. Sir, college is having two properties, that is college name and provide placements. So 101%, if I create an object of college, I can access the properties of college. But since it is inheriting from university, college extends university. It means college is inheriting the properties of university. So those two properties of university is inherited into college plus two properties in college. So I can access four properties. Got the clarity? So here two properties from university is inherited into college and college has two explicit property. Therefore four. Got the clarity? Now here when I create an object of department, how many properties will I be able to access? If I create an object of department, cross check and tell me, is it 4 or is it 6 or is it only 2? Think and tell, think and tell. 6. Everyone are telling 6. But department is inheriting only from college, no? College has only two properties, right? But how are you telling it as 6 here? Sir, college is in turn inheriting from university. So from university, two properties are inherited into college, and college is having two implicit, two explicit, totally four properties. And those total four properties is inherited into department. So department is having department name and face. So totally I can access six properties. Got the clarity here? Okay. So it's not that I will inherit only from my father. I will inherit from my grandfather as well, ancestors as well. Okay. See, grandfather properties are inherited into father. Grandfather and father properties are inherited into the son. Got it? So that way, we are able to understand easy relationship. Okay. So you can have your main method anywhere. You can have your main method in the department class also, but I'll try to have it in a class called a student. I will create a class called a student and I will have my main method. And if I create an object of department, see, department D equals to new department of, I can access what? See, I can access the department name colon D dot department name. Similarly, I can also access, okay, the college name as well. Okay, D dot college name. Okay, college name also I can access, and I can also access the university name. See, university name here. Okay, I can also access the dot university name. See, I'm able to access. It's not that you have to write it in this pattern only. You can write however you want. I'm just going in the hierarchy. That's it. See, I can access the university name, college name, department name, as well as I can also access those methods as well. Okay, what are those course methods here? D dot. Okay, first conduct exams, then D dot fest, enjoy, and then D dot placements. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. So now when I execute it, I will be able to access all those respective datas here. Okay, just a moment. So now when I executed, did we get the expected output here? Yes, I got the university name is BTU. Okay, college name is J Spiders, and the department name is computer science. And the methods implementation. BTU is conducting exams. CS department had a fest called as Equinox. J Spiders provides placements. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand here. Okay, so from university, okay, from university, the properties were inherited into college. So college had university and college properties, and those total properties were inherited into department. So department had university, college, and department properties because it was inheriting from college directly, but college was again inheriting from university. So therefore, when I create an object of department, I will be able to access all the six properties of the explicit data here. So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to multi-level. Okay, I hope you all got the basic idea about how is it going to work like, right? Similarly, we have one more way of understanding. Okay, we have one more type. Okay, what is the type, sir? Okay, what is the type, sir? I will tell you. The third way of understanding is hierarchical inheritance. Okay, what is hierarchical inheritance? one superclass and multiple subclasses here. So this is called as hierarchical inheritance here. One superclass and multiple subclasses. Okay. So this is what we are supposed to understand. Let us try to talk about it. Okay. So now here I'll have a beautiful class here. Okay. And I'll have a couple of subclasses. Okay now. So here let me draw the representation. Okay. So that it becomes easy for understanding perspective. Okay. So this is the basic hierarchies which I'm going to create. Okay, great, I'm done. So here I will have a class called as, okay, I'll have a class called as vehicle. Okay, I'll have another class called as car and another class called as bike. Okay, so this is a relationship between them. Okay, I'm having what type of inheritance between them? Is a relationship between them here. Okay, this is what we are supposed to understand. Okay, is a relationship. Great. So now here vehicle is having a property called as brand, which is initial, I mean, which is the data type is string. So what did you understand here? Vehicle is a class, okay, and it is having a variable. Okay, it is having a variable called as brand, okay, which is the data type is string here. Okay, similarly car, okay, is having a variable called as cost, okay, and the data type is int, and it also has a method called as start, which return type called as void. Okay, it's not that rocket science, you have to remember a lot of things here. Okay, so and then bike has a variable called as fuel, and the data type is string, and the method name is stop, and the return type is void. How do you differentiate a method? I'll write this parenthesis. If I write this parenthesis, it's a method. Okay, that's it here. Okay, and then here, okay, after this entire process, okay, I'm done. So now guys, vehicle is the superclass for car also, bike also. So when I create an object of car, okay, if I create an object of car, I have to access the vehicle class properties plus the car class properties. From vehicle, brand is inherited plus cost and start method. I can access the three properties. If I create an object of bike, I can access the brand. Why? Because it is common property inherited into car also, bike also. Brand is inherited plus fuel and stop method. I can access again three. But bike object cannot access the properties of car, and car object cannot access the properties of bike here, because they might be siblings, okay, but ultimately you cannot access the properties of one object to another object. So this is a pictorial representation. Can't you write a program for it? 101% I can develop a program for it. So how will I do it here? I will create a class, and that class name is hierarchical inheritance. I will create a class. Sorry. I'll create a package first. Package. Package name is hierarchical. Okay, done. Under hierarchical package here, let me create a class, and the class name is vehicle. Okay, the class name is vehicle. Vehicle has a property called as brand. Brand equals to BMW. Okay, I'll just write it as BMW here. Okay, done. I'll have one more class called as car here. Okay, so vehicle is a class and car is a class here. So first, car is inheriting the properties of vehicle. This is a relationship, and the car is having a variable called as cost, which is initialized to some data here. And it also has a method, and the method name is start method, and it is telling here, I'll just give some random implementation as car started, and the return type is void. That's it. Okay, so the return type is void. So what did you understand? Car is inheriting the properties of vehicle, and it also has explicit properties. And I had one more class called as bike class. Okay, so what was the bike doing here? What was the bike doing? bike will inherit the properties of vehicle, okay, and it also had a property called as string fuel, and the fuel type is, okay, I'll just write it as petrol here. Okay, the fuel type is petrol, and it also had a method called a stop method, correct? So now here sys out, okay, and here I'll just write it as bike stopped. Okay, I'm just giving some random implementation of step. Okay, no, don't find out logic here. Okay, so yeah, but yeah, I'm done almost. Yeah, great. Okay, so did we achieve the pictorial representation into a programmatic way here? Absolutely yes. Okay, I have converted the program into a programmatical way. I mean the pictorial UML notation into a programmatical way. So now here guys, see, if I create an object of car, okay, if I create an object of who? If I create an object of car here, I can access, see, this is out, C dot, I can access the brand plus I can access the C dot cost. That's it. I can access only the properties of vehicle and car. Why? Sir, I have created an object of car. So object of car can access the properties of vehicle and car. That's it. I cannot access the properties of bike. And I can also tell C dot start, right? Similarly, if I create an object of bike B equals to new bike of, I can access the properties of vehicle, okay, vehicle as well as the properties of bike here, that is fuel. But I cannot access the cost. Why? Cost belongs to the car here. And I can also tell B dot stop. Start method I cannot use it. Okay. So this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to the data here. When I executed, did I get the expected output here? Yes, absolutely. I got the expected output as the entire process. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to understand when it comes to the entire data here. What is hierarchical inheritance, guys? Hierarchical inheritance is nothing but one superclass having multiple subclasses. So we took the example of vehicle, car, and bike. So when I create an object of car, only vehicle and car properties. When I create an object of bike, only bike and vehicle properties. Okay. So these are the few things which we are supposed to understand when it comes to the data here. Okay, now. Got it. Okay, perfect, guys. Okay, so any confusions, guys, as of now here? Okay, so what have we done in today's session here? I have one more thing to tell. We started with inheritance now. Okay, what is inheritance basically? It's a process of one class is acquiring the properties of another class. Two types of classes: super, base, parent, who gives the properties; sub, derived child, who will accept the properties. Extends keyword is used to achieve inheritance. Is a relationship is another way, name for it. Okay. And what are the properties which is inherited? Only variables and methods. Blocks and constructors? No, sir, it is not inherited. What are the types of inheritance? Single level, multi-level, hierarchical. Only these three types are supported explicitly. Multiple and hybrid is not supported. Hybrid up to some extent, that's it. Okay. And we saw practical examples as well. Okay. So we saw examples for what? Single level. Single level meaning a combination of one superclass and one subclass. Multi-level, multiple superclass and subclass in sequential manner. And hierarchical and multiple, we know the difference. Okay. And then hybrid, a combination of two or more. Okay. And we also saw the UML notation, the pictorial way of representing it. Okay. And we also seen the working of it, I believe. I mean the other way of doing it. Okay. So this is all about the entire process, guys. Okay. So now anyone having any questions as of now here? Anyone having any questions as of now here? Okay, great. Okay, so we need to create two different objects. Yeah, absolutely correct. We need to create an object of car also separately. We need to create an object of bike also separately. It's like brother sister. Okay, two different objects. Okay, notes here. Yeah, I'm providing the notes, right? Didn't you find it? I'm providing the notes. Whatever I do with the programs, I'm uploading it. Okay, so cross check with the a link which I have sent. Okay, or else I'll check today. Okay, I'll check if there is any issues here. I'll sort it by today. I have posted the assignments also over there. Okay. I hope you didn't find it. If you have not found, okay, let me post it again today. Okay. Perfect. Okay, guys. Any questions as of now here? Anyone having any questions? Okay, I'll provide the notes. Don't worry. Okay. Great. Any questions? Okay, okay, okay. Very good, guys. Very good, very good, very good. Okay. So we are done with this entire process here. Okay. But now we had one small constructor topic. Okay. I had to do one topic related to constructors, which I shall try to do it in tomorrow's session, not today. Okay. So I'll be having a meeting now. Okay. Anyway, guys, we are done with the session for today.